So, despite that I did a Spanish review album recently, I guess it doesn't surprise you, I don't know Chinese. So, here we go. "2030" is the second studio album released by Lexie Liu. This is one of those albums that I don't think was going to be marketed super huge, and I wanted to just find a couple of different things out there, and I decided, I'm going to go the R&B route again. And I found this, and it's interesting, but not in the ways that I had foreseen. Miss Liu is in fact a Chinese artist, and I'm not really sure what her goal is entirely. I guess lyrically is the word I'm looking for, because it does start off with English, but she merges a lot of Chinese in this album, and I'm fine with that. There's a lot of Spanglish songs or even albums that I kind of like out there. So I was trying to understand where she was trying to find the right balance, because for me, knowing Spanish, I get the balance sometimes of flip-flopping the languages. And here, I couldn't really understand it, and I'm not going to fault the album for that, because it's probably something I'm not very familiar with. It's just only on the musical level that I get, not the lyrical. The musical level, I was trying to understand, does this naturally flow with the music? And there are moments where I think it completely works, and then there's other times where I felt like I'm not sure if I'm getting it all. And I'm not talking about the language, I'm talking about the flow. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I differentiate that and acknowledge that. So, just putting it out there. Overall, it does have a sound that I can say that I like, and it does take some ideas that I feel like I'm somewhat familiar with from maybe not quite 10 years ago, but a while ago. Some traditional R&B from like the early 2000s. And her vocals do reach a pretty solid range, and it's just effective. I was surprised by the things that I did find myself enjoying in this album. One of the songs, as an example, would be Love and Run. Now, this is kind of a simpler example because I feel that this song kind of has more of a basic beat, but it is well done in the regard that it is not overproduced or blown out of proportion or anything like that, so it felt like it had the balance that eased me into wanting to listen to her. Another one I found myself liking is Sleep Away. Now this one does have a lot of the language shifting. Back and forth, and it works. So this is one that I think, awesome. Like it. There's a couple of times where I'm a little lost on kind of the direction lyrically, and yes, I did look up all the lyrics, the English and the Chinese ones. So there was a few moments where it lost me a little bit because I wasn't sure if it was really creating enough purpose for the song itself, but there are plenty of times where I do feel like it works just fine. I don't have a lot of deep things I really want to say about this album because Lexie Liu is completely new, and this is something that I am not entirely familiar with regards to this language and how to merge it all together. But I did find myself intrigued by a few of the songs in here, and so I would like to see how much range I can look into music because of this experience that I've had with finding this album. So after having listened and reviewed this album with production of 84%, creativity 78%, expression and lyrics 75%, I'm going to give this album a good. I don't know really if I'm conveying everything that I really liked getting out of this album, but I do have that desire to try and recommend it for purposes of you wanting to experience something else. So I know plenty of people who probably won't like this album just because they have no relation to it whatsoever. But then there are plenty of people out there who I think are really enjoying kind of the merge of the K-pop, even the J-pop kind of stuff. And I don't know if we have a name for this, but Chinese R&B per se. This is something that I think that you might be able to enjoy and maybe find something else that's similar to it. So I recommend checking it out for that reason. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.